Hey, what's up out there, everybody? I think we should be live now. Like the title says, we're just going to talk about IoT stuff, Halloween, and mostly this night guy right here. So if you've seen the channel before, you might have seen when I got this dude. He's extremely tall, almost as tall as me, right? And I wanted to find a good way to use him, something we could do with him that would be cool and interesting. So the plan was to, well, I don't know. I wrote a little email about it this morning. But initially I was thinking, I don't know what I'll do with him. Maybe I'll put some lights in him. Then I thought, hey, why don't we make him motion activated so we can set him up for Halloween. I expect we'll have a couple hundred kids come around and maybe have like a motion sensor that goes off and make him talk, right? Hey, that'd be kind of a cool project. It'd be something fun to do and a new way to learn something that I didn't know how to do. That kind of changed. Oh, sorry, phone's beeping here. But that kind of changed into what other ideas can I do? What other stuff can I come up with? And I thought, well, why don't we try putting a camera in there? What could we do with a camera if I threw one in there? And that's kind of where we're at now. I've got a camera in there. I've got the camera working. It streams to a web page. It was extremely easy. And I think the goal is going to be to take that image and then project it onto like a glass window that's next to the guy when he's standing out there so I can have it see his view. So I wanted to first just kind of show you guys what that looks like. It's not very cool right now. See if you guys have some ideas and suggestions, and then just go from there. So I'm going to switch over so you can see my desktop now. And you should see right here I've got this Pi Cam control. And actually, yeah, you can see my monitors. You can see the stream right there, right through his little helmet. Pull that up. Looks kind of cool. And I thought, I'll put my face in front of him. You guys can see what it looks like. I don't expect they're going to get that close. I expect kids, I got to keep them somewhat far away because it's metal and sharp. But I figure they can get at it. I can show that somehow and make it look cool. In fact, let me go back down to a sitting position so you guys can see a little better what it looks like. And you can see the quality of the streaming. With that focus on the light is struggling a bit. Let me see if I can get that to... God, that is really blinded. So it's a night vision camera and it's looking kind of right at something really bright white right now. I'm going to pull this down too. You can see it a bit better. Shows, there you go. Lets the light in more. So I'm not sure exactly what I want to do with it, how I want to make it look, or what other kinds of cool stuff might be possible. And really I wanted to talk in the stream, get some ideas from you guys. Maybe share some more stuff on how I did this, answer questions on what I've done so far, and just go from there. To be honest, I'm really hoping you guys have some cool ideas so I can really kind of spice this thing up and make it neat. Like I said, I want to make him talk. I want to use the motion sensing to have him say things. And I'd maybe have him detect the age or the height of the kid or person there so he could be kind of variable. And if it's little tiny toddlers, he can say something funny. And if it's big teenagers, he can scare them away or something, It seems like it'd be like a neat project to do or neat use, something cool and interesting to try to figure out. So if you guys have any ideas, feel free to start dropping them in chat or any questions about this stuff. Real briefly, I'll go over what's inside him right now. In fact, I could just pull it out. Here, let me flip off his power. You see the web page should stop working. And you can just open the sucker up. And I should be able to get this guy out pretty easy. Here it comes. So it's just this little box. Now, I'm going to switch views real quick because there's not much to see on my desktop for a second. So it's just this little box with the Raspberry Pi 4 inside it and a camera hanging off of it. And this thing is... it's got 4 gigs of RAM and a relatively fast Qualcomm processor, I think. I don't know. It's quick. It's quick enough to boot up almost instantly and stream HD video. So it definitely is, I don't know. It was pretty impressive. I was surprised at how easy this thing was to get going and get set up. The biggest problem I ran into, by the way, if you're going through this, was getting it formatted and booting properly. So I had to go through and grab another image, and I used a tool. Instead of using a format and copying it, there was some tool that I used. I forgot the name of it already. Let me see. if I can find it. Oh, if anybody wants to know, let me know and I can dig it up. But it was definitely an interesting project just getting this going so far. So yeah, I guess I really just wanted to know if anybody had other ideas for things they could do to make this cooler and more interesting, other than just showing the video and doing some kind of weird filter. Also curious if anybody had ideas for cool ways that filter could look. Obviously, this would be a whole lot easier if everybody was on video and voice chat. I probably should have planned that better. But if anybody's got anything, type it out. Feel free. Also, if you guys just have any random Unity questions, feel free to ask those too. Still catching up on emails, so if you guys got stuff and pull that focus in, and you want to ask, feel free to ask those. So, I think I'm gonna put this sucker right back in here, or maybe I should plug in the video. I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna get it powered back up real quick and see what we can do with it while I answer other questions. We'll have a video of should be my face. Let's see. Switch back to desktop mode, and I want to see how long it takes for this thing to start right back up. So I just hit the power button. Again, it's just this little tiny box with a camera on it. And that web page should start up. And setting up the web page too was pretty simple. I just ran a couple commands. It auto set up the RPI cam control. If you just find RPI cam control, it was really simple to set up. They had instructions right on the page. I just followed that and it worked. There we go. It's reloaded. And now I've got the camera here. So the other thing I was going to mention with this was I ran it from this USB cord that's just plugged into like a regular phone charger. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I think I moved the power too much and I crashed it. So I ran it from that USB charger, but it also seemed to run okay from this. It didn't last very long. It killed this little battery really fast, but it did run just fine. So my plan was to get one of those bigger batteries and just shove that in there, but I might just kind of hardwire it because it only lasted, I think, about a half hour on this battery that's, I don't even know, what is it? It's only 2,600 milliamp hours. So it's pretty small. So somebody said, put a helmet into his hand and give some LEDs inside, maybe headphones with the evil laugh. I can't really move his helmet, but yeah, that'd be cool. I definitely, he's going to have some sort of an evil laugh and some LEDs. I was looking for like good LEDs to get, but this is the kit that I put in it. And the choice of a white box when I want to go in something that's pitch black for Halloween, obviously really terrible. So I have to get a new box and swap that out because I realized right away I could see that. But yeah, I wanted to find like some good eyeballs that I could show in there. Jabril recommended these cool ones. They were on Adafruit. Let me see if I can find these, but they were sold out, so it wasn't an option. Oh, they're back in stock. Oh, okay. So I think maybe we'll go for these. These look really neat. I got to make sure that this can actually can run it, and that I'm not crazy. I don't know enough about them, but these eyeballs look really cool. I could definitely mount those like right to the, thinking like right in here, put an eyeball and an eyeball. That could be really cool. Or just back a little bit in there. Wow, these are neat. Okay. So yeah, I think I might have to order these ones. Let's see, what does it require? Requires, let's see, recommend only pairing this with a Raspberry Pi 3. What about a Raspberry Pi 4? I think that might work, I assume. See, it says, oh, let's watch real quick. What does it look like? How do you hook it up? These are cool. So I wonder if you can display other things. Interesting. So anybody here happen to have experience with these, by the way? Because I'm really curious. Oh, here's another little display. I'm wondering what kind of thing I should put in there. Would these be the right option? Should I just go with red lights? I don't know. I'm not sure now because these look really cool, but I wonder if it's going to be as cool as just glowing the inside of the helmet red. Hey, Jerry, what's up, man? So do these work okay with just a Pi? Like, do you know how to set it up? Is it simple, like just plug them in and pick a video and it's going to play them? Or Is it going to overwhelm this thing and make it so I can't use the camera at the same time? Really curious to see. These look really freaking cool. And I wonder if there's another one, because I swear I just looked at these and they were out of stock. So I wonder, let me look for eyes on here and see if there were maybe 2 of them and I just looked at the wrong one. Monster mask, DIY eye mask, that's neat. Interesting. And then, oh, without displays. Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, yeah, I think, okay, a bit of coding needed, depends on the Pi. Okay, so yeah, I'm using the Pi 4. I think I'm going to go for these. I think I'll do a little bit more research right after the call, or later on tonight, and then order them up. Just want to make sure that I'm going to be able to get them set up and working. But that looks really cool. Oh, cool. Uses half mirror for an AR experience. Neat. Yeah, these seem like they could be really cool. And I could just set him up and make him blink and make him kind of react and have some kind of emotions or something. Cool. And then the other thing I need to figure out is what to use for a speaker. I was looking at just grabbing a little tiny speaker, or maybe maybe syncing something over Bluetooth. But I felt like Bluetooth might be kind of overkill. I don't know what you guys think. If it was like, I figured something small and inside his head would be the coolest, because it sounded like it was coming from in there. And then we're going to do some, I think, recording with like a voice mod, and I'll pull in my 11-year-old and we'll just go through, record some stuff, and see what we can do, come up with some really funny quotes and stuff, or some scary stuff. I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting, though, and having a lot of fun with it. And like I said, it's just really cool. So I left this thing running in my living room last night. There we go, just talking away. I left it running in my living room, though, overnight. No problems, and it just kept streaming. I was able to catch my kid going downstairs in the middle of the night when he was supposed to be in bed. So a cool little experience. The other thing I want to figure out with this was projecting it. So on top of the eyes, like I want to, like I mentioned before, project whatever's on here, what's seen through his eyes, onto some glass, ideally. It does not have 2 eyes per Pi. Oh, wait, I don't know. Maybe. The little kit might do 2 eyes per, I think it did do 2 eyes per Pi. It looked like it did. Hopefully. If it doesn't, then I gotta figure that out. But yeah, what was I just saying? Totally forgot. Oh yeah, I want to get this video, so whatever's on here, whatever's coming through his eyes, I want to project that from behind a glass mirror. So I've got like these doors. In fact, let me just, here, watch this. Let's see if I can do this. I got a portable camera I can lift up. You see the doors right there? What I want to do is project his vision onto that double door area right there from behind, so that we can do like some kind of thing where it looks like you're seeing out of his eyes, like you're seeing something with like a ghostly filter. I was thinking more like a kind of like Lord of the Rings style, like you put on the ring and he's seeing it in something that looks like that. So if you guys have suggestions or ideas for a good way to do that, that's not going to require too much work, I'd love to hear it. Like, I'm just kind of curious. I was thinking about just grabbing a cheap projector, find something small and cheap that I can set up back there, and then either running an HDMI cable or streaming it wirelessly. I mean, ideally, just stream it wirelessly because I want to do it kind of across the way. So I don't know, anybody have any recommendations for projectors or something like that? Or has anybody done something like this, got recommendations on what to do or what not to do? Like, should I have some sort of a white film on that window? Should I just go straight onto the glass? I really don't know. So any thoughts? Anybody? Feel free to just type away. I know there's a little bit of a delay here, though. So that's where I'm at now, though. Just trying to figure out what to do with this guy, and how to make him as cool as possible. Like I said, I think that the talking is going to be the coolest part, or one of the most interesting parts. So one of the things I was trying to set up, too, is the motion detection. So he's got a motion detection built in with this PyCam control, and it's supposed to run a script. So let's see if it's set up to do it still. So it's right here. It's supposed to run this motion event script. And I got to figure out how to get that working as well. So it didn't seem like it was running the script when I remote in. If I remembered how to remote in without just plugging in, I would. And then we could probably get in and control it and stuff. But I don't know how to do that well enough. I'm still really, really new with this thing. So anyone got any questions about anything? This stuff, Unity stuff, whatever other stuff? Because right now I'm just kind of stuck at a point where I'm not sure what I want to hack in yet, and I'm looking for lots of recommendations. So if anybody's got ideas or just recommendations on ways to make it cooler, I'd love to hear it. Let's see. So Clappy mentioned using a smartphone and a magnifying glass. That could work. I just don't have a smartphone around. And I was thinking if I get a little cheap projector, I can probably reuse it for a bunch of projects. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. Let's see. Jerry said lots of fun stuff. Sometimes using a second processor for some stuff is needed, like audio playback. He did an ESP32 board with audio play board for Burning Man LED backpacks. Oh, cool. 20 backpacks. Nice. With the mesh network. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and I may end up needing just more hardware. If I need something else, you need to get something else to make this cool, I'll get it because I just think it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, there's questions about ECS. I still am holding off on ECS until 2020, not really touching it until it's finalized or in a state where they call it, production ready. Then I'll start really digging into it because I just worry it's going to change too much. It's already changed. Every time I look at it, it's different. It's getting better, but it's just so different that I feel like I'm just kind of wasting my time relearning it over and over. Let's see. It said it would be pretty neat if you had a 3D model of the knight and did some AR stuff, projecting him walking behind people at the door. Oh, yeah. That could be cool too. And then Jerry, nice, got a Unity job? Sweet. Unity stuff. That's the other thing I was trying to figure out was a way to use Unity with this project. I was thinking maybe like having some sort of an AR, or not so much AR game, but like a camera-controlled game built around the dude somehow. But I guess first I want to get all the fundamentals going, and then if I still have a lot of cool stuff to do, maybe I'll do that and make a cool, fun little game. Like I made a little pumpkin game, and I was thinking this would be neat to have this kind of projecting out on the wall or something to let kids play it. But I haven't figured that out yet. I still gotta get this guy wrapped up, hopefully by the end of the week, and then see what else we can come up with. So, somebody's trying to make a Mario Brothers clone. Got any tips? There is a cool 2D platforming kit on the asset store. What is it called? It's oh man, let me see. I'll remember it the second I pull it up. Let me do a quick search. It is called. It's gonna be like the first search result. Watch. No, it's not. Where is it? I'm going to find it, but it's one that I've recommended to a lot of people, and it works really good. It's got a lot of the fundamentals kind of built in, and it'll save you a ton of time if you're trying to build that. Now, of course, if you're just trying to learn how to build it and all that, and it's not, you're just trying to build the game, may not be as helpful, but where is that platformer pack? Anybody happen to remember the name of that pack? I'm going to switch back over real quick. It's... Let's see, 2D platformer. What is that? I've used it. It was cool. And I cannot remember the name of it, and I don't know why. It's too much walking around for me. Hopefully somebody in chat remembers the name, though. Corgi Engine. There. Thank you, Frederick. You just mentioned it in chat. So check out Corgi Engine. Use that as a starting point, I'd say, unless that's just not what you're trying to do. But if you just want to build a Mario clone, you have an idea for a game and you want to try that out, I would start there because it's an easy way to get going fast and just get that game working. Let's see. What other stuff we got? LEDs and a built-in fog machine. Josh. Yeah, so I'm not going to put a fog machine inside him just because there's no space. But I'm going to put, I think, a fog machine out in the little courtyard area where he'll be. So he'll be right out. You can't see it. He'll be right out there on the other side of that glass door. And I think we're going to fog it all up so it's nice and foggy. But I also don't want anybody getting too close to him just because he's super sharp. Oh, wait, I just held up the camera like you guys could see it when I didn't have my desktop visible there. He'll be over there by those glass, like across from those glass doors, basically. Nice and far away, though. But yeah, there's not much space in his head either. So here, let me just pop down and show you what it looks like. Oh, here, watch this. Still getting used to this. You can see kind of the inside of his head. I guess you can't really see much. It's just empty, hollow, and then it ends right here. His helmet's just kind of sitting on top of his body. Yeah, the fog machine will be really cool. It's going to add a lot to the whole area. Cool. Let's see. So yeah, anybody got any other questions or ideas? Just if not, I'll probably wrap this up soon. Like I said, I didn't have a whole lot to talk about. Just kind of wanted to show where this guy's at and what the plan was going forward. I'll probably put together a quick video about it afterwards, show what it looks like when it's all done and kind of what the process was like. But I've been having fun with it, and it's been interesting just seeing what works on these little Pis. I kind of want to install Windows on it, see if that works and what I can do there, or maybe try running some Unity games on there. Oh, sorry. Like maybe do like a Linux build and build something out on it, see what other kind of fun stuff I can do. But first, I'll get this project going. Or maybe a Whack-A-Ghost AR game. Yeah, that'd be cool. There are a lot of cool game ideas I'm starting to come up with, especially around Halloween. I like it because the idea of getting lots of kids out there playing it. But I think for next year, I'm going to try to come up with something big and crazy that like all the kids can play in the driveway or something where there's just a lot of room so that a lot of them can play at once. I just got to figure out what that is. This is the first time I actually had a space where there's kids that come and can play and do all this stuff. Let's see. We got a couple questions. What do you think about Unreal Engine and Blueprints? So I used Unreal for quite a while before I switched to Unity. I switched to Unity for mobile stuff. We're doing mobile games, and at the time, Unity was the only engine available to do mobile stuff. They were the first by like a year and a half. Anyway, I never wanted to go back. Really, like, there were some issues at first with Unity. Some things that were kind of hard to do that were a little bit easier in Unreal. All of those have really gone away, and I haven't gotten to the point where there's been anything that I couldn't do in Unity that I thought would be easier to do or that I just could do in Unreal. So I've kind of made the switch 100%, and I don't see any real reason to go back unless you're working for or you want to work for a company that's using Unreal in their games. Then sure. I mean, there's no downside to using Unreal, and there's really no downside to using Blueprints, but personally, I'm not a big fan of the visual scripting, or visual coding in general. I really prefer just actually seeing code in C#. Let's see, another question. Working with OpenVR and a headset and head-tracked world space cameras for UI. Oh, what was the question there, Jerry? Are you having a problem with that? OpenVR not tracking it? For UI, world space cameras for UI. I'm not sure exactly what it is you're trying to do there. I might have missed something. Oh, the snake eye bonnet doesn't work for the Pi. Interesting. Pi 4. I'll check that. Thank you. Oh, you're trying to find ways to select buttons on a floating UI? Are you doing it like from... Is it head only, or do you have controllers that you can point? kind of curious. All right, the UI is on a canvas. Is the canvas, I assume, is floating in world space? Okay, the Steam VR camera rig. And then you're just not getting the interaction. So let me see. I did a video on this a while ago. I don't know if it's changed again in the latest one, though. Well, let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me see if I can find this video. So this is definitely old. I'm going through it now. Okay, yeah, this is probably too. It says 20. This one says 2017. It's probably out of date. Yeah, I mean, what I've done before is set up something on the controllers or on the head to do a raycast into there. But or yeah, box colliders to do it. Yep, very similar to what it sounds like you've done there. It's usually what I've done. It's just because I very rarely end up doing much UI stuff in VR. Okay, so the next question down below was about, I guess, are you trying to pick a game engine and what to start on and whether or not to use ECS? So you said you're a game designer. In that case, if you haven't been programming much, you haven't really been doing coding, what I would do is, if you want to get into actually doing game development and programming and coding stuff, is just start with Unity and start with simple stuff. Avoid ECS. You probably don't want to learn how to code in C++ either. It's possible. It's not the hardest thing, but it's a lot harder than learning C# and Unity. You can get started in Unity with C# with little to no programming experience and have it kind of make sense. I think when you get into Unreal, at least last time I got into there, it's not extremely beginner friendly if you're doing non-blueprint stuff, or at least not as beginner friendly. And part of it is just because the community hasn't been as open for as long. Unity's just had an open community where anybody could get in and build stuff for a very, very long time. So it makes it easier to just kind of get started and get going there. There are tons of free tutorials out there and tons of just guides that will take you through making games. What I would recommend if you're doing game design and you just want to kind of make your own stuff is to start with a couple tutorials. Like begin with, like how to make some little mobile game that you think is kind of neat, but you think you could add like a little cool twist to. Learn how to make that game, go through the tutorials, and then try to figure out how to add that little twist. Make sure it's like a little thing, not I'm going to change the complete way the game works, but maybe you're like, hey, these values should be a little different, or this thing should happen when these change. Look for something like that where you can do a custom version of an existing project. And I think that you'll find, one, it's fun, and it lets you kind of practice the game design and the game development at the same time and learn how to code. And like I said, don't start with ECS. I wouldn't start with Unreal. I'd just start with Unity, start with something simple, build it out, and then customize it and make it your own and go from there. It's going to be the fastest way and easiest way to learn, and just get good at it and keep doing that a couple times. And you get to practice both things, design and code at the same time. Cool. We got any other questions? I'm going to go for like maybe another 5-10 minutes. Answer any random stuff. We can talk about this little knight dude and the random camera that I got set up. Oh, there it is. There's the button. That's not the post. There. Where's the one I was looking at? PyCam. So we can talk about this thing. We talk about other Unity stuff. So for Unity, ECS will probably be mainstream in 2 to 4 years. Right now, nobody I know that's doing professional Unity development is using ECS in anything more than like an experimenting capacity. There might be, I know there are some people out there that are using it in small parts for certain games. You don't need it for any game that you want to build right now, and you probably won't anytime soon. It's really just for pushing the limits way beyond what they're at now. And, you're not pushing the limits with our games. Let's see. Next question. Should I be an artist or go be a solo developer? It depends. If you like doing art and you're good at art, there's nothing wrong with being an artist. If you really want to design, code, publish, and release your own games, then being a solo developer is good. One thing that's usually really good is being a technical artist. So if you can make art and you can manage that pipeline of getting things into the game, making them work right with the rendering system, making all of it look beautiful together, it's an extremely lucrative job. That's really, I'd say, one of the easier ones to get hired at, because there aren't a lot of people that are good at it. So if it's something that you get good at, it's great to do. But just doing art alone is great too. If you like art and you want to make cool stuff. I can see there's the downside if you can't make your own game. So I don't know that I could do it, but I always get sad that I can't make my own art and I have to go buy or just find random art. It is, I think, easier though to grab somebody else's art and put it into your game than it is to take your art and have somebody put it into a game. Let's see. Do you know anything about NVIDIA RTX and Unity? Only that they were adding support. I just don't have a use case for it yet. I assume that most of the people that are starting off with it will be doing business apps where they're trying to visualize things super HD for car dealerships or car companies or whatever medical stuff. And then it'll probably go into some of the games. But I don't know anyone using it yet personally. So it looks neat, looks beautiful. Buddy Ryan works over there and does some cool stuff. I don't know. I think it's neat, but I'm nowhere near the art skills to do anything interesting with it yet. Have you tried reticle crosshair in VR? In VR, normally what I've done for crosshairs is put up like an actual crosshair visually on a gun. So like you're holding it out and you can look through and you see the little dot there, or a laser scope where there's a laser dot all the way out at the person. Tends to be a lot easier for people to understand and see, especially the laser dots. I'm going to go to my first Unity NYC meetup. Oh, that's awesome. Dude, go check it out. I'm sure it'll be fun. Everybody's usually really chill at the meetups, and they're just a blast. You get to just go talk to people, watch stuff and learn a little bit. Let's see. Oh, okay. Jerry's answering questions. Nice. Yeah, I don't know. Anybody got anything else? Oh, thanks. Happy Halloween to you too, Spark. I saw that. Should you use Blender for Unity? It depends. If you want to make your own art, then sure, there's nothing wrong with using Blender. I personally almost never make my own art. If I want little placeholder stuff, I just use Pro Builder inside of Unity, and then I have actual artists make me stuff, or I'll grab stuff off the asset store. I am a terrible, terrible artist though, so that's kind of why. But if you want to use Blender, yeah, I know lots of guys that use Blender for their Unity development, or for the art that they're doing. What do I use for my hair? Just glue. It's also way too long. I moved away from my barber, and I haven't wanted to go look around and find a new one yet, so it's just growing out longer and longer and longer until I travel and go back to my barber, I guess. Okay, and then you heard that Unity that they never end the job and the engine's full of bugs and experimental for years. I wouldn't say that's really true or fair. I think that they do release a lot of experimental features and then they mark them as experimental and preview, and then people get upset when the experimental preview things get changed or aren't allowed or just aren't ready. It's like switching to ECS now, right? Like it's been available for almost 2 years, maybe a year and a half to go around and play with, but it's super alpha and not really ready. And until it's ready and shipped, I wouldn't really count on it. Now, sometimes they set up systems that aren't great and then kill them, like UNet. But they don't do it, I think, just loosely or wildly either. And they're adding stuff constantly. To be honest, like I love getting constant updates and just getting new features and new functionality all the time. I think it's nice in the way that they're switching it to be more out of band with the package manager, so we can just get updates to systems without doing a Unity update. I think is really cool too. So I've not really had a problem with it. I mean, I have had issues where things break when you upgrade, but that happens everywhere. I haven't ever had a software setup where I upgrade and I'm 100% confident that nothing broke. Most of the time, though, things just don't break, and it's not really an issue. It's rare. When it happens, though, I like to tell and share the stories because they're interesting and unique, right? Oh, why am I all the way just showing my desktop instead of showing my my background? I guess I don't know. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I just wanted to say thanks again for everybody hopping in. If you guys have other ideas, please drop them in the comments below. I'm just going to watch and see if there's other stuff that I can come up with or you guys can come up with that we can do to this guy, and then I'll share it later. Somebody asked if a solo developer can be successful. Definitely. I know quite a few of them. And share that Android game that you made too in the comments so we can all check it out. I'll go check it out after the stream. All right, thanks again, everybody. Appreciate it. Talk to you guys later.